Oh, welcome back, boys, to Kaiserreich. We're entering in on some smooth jazz, which I like. So in the last video, Black Monday hit. The economy is fucked. So we're trying to dig our way out of that hole. We could recruit some monarchist conspirators. We need loyal men if we're to take down the Green Hydra, and through proper channels of communication, we'll find them and bring them to our side. Let's do it. Well, let me adjust the angle real quick, because I do not want people to confuse Jeff Probst with Jeffrey Epstein. Did not think I'd be saying that sentence today, but here we go. For those of you watching at home, you don't have access to the webcam and don't know what's going on, I have a cardboard cutout of Jeff Probst in my room, a host of the hit television show Survivor. And he's one of my co-hosts. He's my official co-host for the streams. And one of the people who's watching the streams right now, who's possibly high, as Dry is pointing out, confused Jeff Probst for Jeffrey Epstein. And that's just no good. We couldn't have that little confusion. Why do you have a cutout of Jeff? Why don't you have a cutout of Jeff? Why wouldn't you? Thank you, Dry. True amount. Okay, let's go ahead. I want to see what works. Stability. Stability would be good. So I think we'll go ahead and lay the seeds for the Camarilla. Well, most of the other political forces in the country have been sidelined, the sole obstacle left in the king's way towards complete royal control of the Legionary movement itself. Powerful they may seem, but the king is crafty, and with acumen for political intrigue, we may successfully put aside our green-coated sledgehammers. Chaos is a ladder, exactly. And with that, we might just be able to climb our way to the top. Oh shit, there we go. Moscow. How the fuck did that work? What? Huh? I'm just confused now more than anything. Let's improve artillery. Those are divisions of death. The Russians are playing 5D chess. Man, they're doing the classic VP rush. Finding new markets. We'll have to find some new. Let's see, so let's get improving relations with Greece for now. Not surrounding, you're surrounded. That's my lord for not having a fucking clue how to understand the Kaiserreich naval meta. I don't understand the naval meta either. So, you're okay. Let's go ahead and seek some new markets, because it looks like we have some time. We have a time event to figure that out. While the German economic sphere is in ruins, there are not many options available for trade deals. But both the Russians and the Entente governments have signaled us their interest in buying Romanian oil and agricultural products to alleviate their own shortages. This is surely the start of a beautiful friendship. I'm not stuck in here with you. You're stuck in here with me. I'm not surrounded. You're surrounded. There goes those divisions. You know, it was a good shot. You know, God bless him for trying. Excuse me? Oh! I just have news events for it now. And we got the Chad himself, Mannerheim, hopping in. Beautiful. In spite of having to tackle the additional responsibilities of governance, in addition to having to lead the Legionary movement, Captain Corneliu Zelia Codriano has found enough time in his schedule to work on a new book, a volume that is part autobiography, part ideological manifesto. Titled For My Legionaries, the book tells the story of its founder's life from the fatidic oath and a force around Husi to his first forays into Parliament and assumption of the Prime Ministerial office. Heavily interspersed with its author's musings on a host of topics from the role of a monarchy to that of a nation as a whole. Written in a relatively curt diary-like style, spiced with various speeches, article quotations, letters, and Bible passages, would be very popular once published, with its first edition selling out in a few weeks, with 2,500 free examples distributed to members who cannot afford it, notwithstanding. The demands for a new one gradually going up. The Prime Minister himself was surprised with the speed with which his volumes flew off the shelves, and was said to have entered talks to have a new edition published, with more ambitious voices claiming it will also be translated into foreign languages soon enough. A lot of map is fun. Its time will come one day. Let's see. Isn't Manaram... he was born in Finland, I believe, and the Russian Empire. I think his first language was Swedish, because they have Swedish over there. But, ooh, damn. Swedish was his first language. But he picked up Finnish and Russian. Maybe English, too, I forget. One of those languages. Ooh. Let's see. The Legion largely in control of Parliament. Codriano, as Prime Minister, submitted a piece of legislation in the Chamber of Deputies. It's open secret among parliamentarians, but the legislation has little substance and is meant to woo the people and garner support for Captain's land reform program. Carol II's Amarel is uneasy about letting Codriano get away with such blatant demagoguery. It suggests that the king veto the legislation, but doing so would hurt its popularity among a large segment of the population. Alternatively, it was also suggested that the king could use his influence or threaten the Prime Minister into giving credit to his majesty instead, boosting the image of the royals instead. Let's pass the policies as our own. Finland was a plaything of empire, so yeah. Let's reach minority in Finland, yeah. Ooh, we do not have... Well, how are relations with them right now? They're not bad. So as soon as we figure this out... Ooh. So popular Codriano and consume the king's possession is of a vast array of contacts in high society as well. Industrials, aspiring magnates, non-sympathizing nobles, and the remnants of a former conservative party, de facto led by the powerful Constantine Argentiano. By discreetly pulling a few strings and shifting high society's discourse evermore in our illustrious monarch's favor, we can undermine their support from above, ultimately leading to an erosion of their base below. Extra political power. Let's get it. Considering Central Powers 1, how did Serbia survive? They survived. I wouldn't say they're thriving right now, though. I mean, they got Montenegro now, but they don't start off with Montenegro. Ooh. Oh, shit! Oh, shit, the Socialist one, boys. I was gonna say, we could possibly... Let's see what we can do. I honestly I'm tempted to continue with do the Legionary reform. And then from there, do their bit of the tree. but could do a cross for Danube. So let's get a research slot, actually, honestly. The Romanian nation has no shortage of bright minds, and in his wisdom the king recognized that many of his minds just need an extra ounce of support to achieve their potential. By establishing the Royal Foundation of Arts and Sciences, we not only gain a reputation as patrons of arts and knowledge, but also increase royal support among the ranks of the intelligentsia. Yeah, man. I don't think I've ever seen the socialist win before. This is interesting. Yeah, I don't know if I blame you guys. I don't think I blame you guys at all for joining. Let's do disperse industry. Let's go ahead and negotiate with Greece. We're still friendly with them, right? Yeah. And what's going on there? The Romanian royal family, like every other, has a long history with extramarital affairs and marital infidelity. There is, however, an expectation of discretion. Scandals are to be avoided and liaisons terminated should such a scandal occur. The king, however, not only appears to have no discretion whatsoever, indeed he seems to have take great pleasure in publicly flaunting his womanizing lifestyle. The origins of Elena Magda Lupescu are a source of confusion and debate. It's known that she inherited her Catholicism through her mother, who's a Jewish-born convert. Her father, also Jewish-born, is an apothecary who converted to Eastern Orthodoxy. She was briefly married to a certain Lieutenant Ion Tampianu, but divorced sometime after the war. It's not known when she met the king, but she only started appearing alongside him after he was crowned, and she quickly became one of his closest advisors. The king has long been known as a playboy, but he has been acting differently with his recent mistress. Unlike his previous affairs, the relationship appears very strong, giving Magda significant and barely lasting influence within Carol's inner circle. On the other hand, she has increasingly been targeted by opponents of King Carol, so he tried to weaken his position. Can someone approve that message? No, it's not like the king can deny her or anything. Look, I'll swipe over. I'll approve that for you dry. Like, why aren't you a mod? Can I not mod you? I can't mod you right now, but I could have sworn you were modded already. Alright, you applied for Discord mod, not Twitch mod. That's right. Oh shit, we got a trade agreement with Greece. Very nice. The Greek government was pleased by a mutually beneficial trade agreement and have accepted our offer. Low tariffs to ensure that we maintain a healthy trade relationship throughout this crisis. More trade is always good. From here, let's go ahead and do trade negotiations with the French Republic. And while we're here, improve relations with Serbia. Got a research slot. Let's go across the Danube. We won't do it quite yet, but let's set it up at least. Since our crushing defeat in Valkyrie, confirmed by the Treaty of Bucharest, Dobrogia is part of Bulgaria. The Romanian minority inhabiting the region is suffering from constant attempts of Bulgarian magistrates to completely eradicate any trace of Romanian identity from Dobrogia. We need to safeguard their and our interests. Wait, That'll increase our influence. We don't necessarily want to do that quite yet, then. Let's assess the military first, then. Since the on-guard took power, we already violated Bucharest by introducing army conscription. We need to further expand the army to ensure a victory in future conflicts. Is Discord public? It should be public. Check the description box. There are boxes right below the video. Check that out. Let's go ahead and compromise with the guard. Ooh. French government in Algiers have made a counteroffer to our trade deal. Knowing this new offer firms further concessions on our end. Especially frustratingly, exiled French do not seem to have learned it lesson humility in the past 15 years or so, for their demands match your inflated, sunburnt ego. You know, maybe we can give them some concessions. I think we got... You are welcome, my friend. So all of our research finished up just around the same time. Let's get radios going. Let's get, it's only 36. Let's get working on some fighters. And then a doctrine. Let's do spirit firepower. And I know around 37 we should be expecting the whatchamacallit, the Belgrade Pact to form. Camarilla is pretty nice, getting that extra boost. Very much appreciated. There goes stuff in Turkestan. Well. Ooh. More Doc. Which one is he? The off-dem guy, okay. Interesting. The youngest member of Romanian Parliament and staunch supporter of the Legionary movement, Mihai Stelescu, had quickly risen in the ranks of her movement. He was in many ways a very example of the Legionary his captain desired. Radical, bold, and staunchly nationalist. However, he gathered his share of enemies during his fast promotion through the ranks of a guard into becoming one of Codriana's lieutenants. As such, many within the Legion are at least suspicious of a young leader. Some may even doubt his loyalty to the captain. Regardless, the whispers are enough to have gotten the attention of royal agents, who are more than eager to exploit any cracks in a seemingly monolithic Iron Guard. Perhaps we should send this man the king's regards. Let's go ahead. Let's see. A man claiming to work with the king's name arranged a clandestine meeting with Mihai Stelescu, approaching the Legionnaire with an offer of support. The king would gladly support his ambitions against the Codrianu, Stelescu was called. So a deal was struck, one that might eventually bring down Codrianu's cult personality. Let's fund him discreetly. Assess the military. That's super regional. It's super regional when you get Shukshin. Mobile warfare. Let's do the legacy of Berthelot. Henri Berthelot headed the French military mission in Romania during the Weltkrieg. It was largely thanks to his efforts that we were able to rebuild our forces after the 1916 debacle and achieve several victories against the combined Central Powers offensive. As such, his legacy has been enduring among our officers, with many wanting to rebuild the Romanian army as he had in 1917. Well, there we go. Here we long. Good old boy. I don't know if you guys can see. You guys can't see at home, obviously, but with my webcam, I'll move it over. I have repping the PSA and the AUS flags. In Eastern Orthodox liturgics, the 8th of November bears witness to the feast of the holy archangels Michael and Gabriel, as well as the other audience powers of heaven. Across the country and beyond, many people celebrate their name days, many others their birthdays even. None, however, celebrates as proudly as the Legion of the Archangel Michael, whose dedication to the commander of a host of heaven has driven Captain Codriano to declare the patron's feast day as a movement-wide celebration. Nest meetings on the day were dedicated to commemorating their heavenly patron. Many areas held demonstrations and parades on the day, before culminating with divine liturgy attendance. Many churches reported spikes in attendance, driven by the movement's more pious members. Corneliu Codriano himself joined in the celebration, sending celebratory messages and greetings to members and local organizations throughout the country, before attending the liturgy in Bucharest at his favorite church, St. Ilei Gorgani. The Archangel watches. Right until CSA basically steamrolls fucking yeah, shit. We'll wait and see what happens there. The Legion of Archangel Michael prides itself in their mass rallies, gathering thousands of supporters. These rallies, however, feature fiery speeches containing blatant anti-Semitic rhetoric and increasing calls for violence against perceived enemies of a nation. Besides, the king sees his displays of power from his rival as a blatant threat to his rule. Of course, King Carol could bestow Codriano with his royal generosity and allow him his thugs to parade all they want in exchange for favors, such as letting His Majesty take center stage or forbid it altogether. However, this would likely result in a livid response from Legion and their notorious green shirts. Let's forbid their little meeting. Let's see what happens with that. Path are going for Romania. I was gonna wait and see what Russia did, because that usually, it's a good idea to align with Russia, but I know we can't go Cindy. So we can't exactly follow Russia on this one now. I might go with the king, or I might end up going with, I'll probably stick with monarchy. The question is which monarch, really, at this point. Let's go ahead and do that. We have the equilibrium of power. Very nice. So we can do the Legionary reform. So let's do that. Codriano's ambition is land reform is stopped by opposition from the king and the wealthy landowners, prefer the unequal status quo. He must break up the great estates and redistribute the land for all instead of just small aristocratic elites, no matter how much bad blood it's going to create among them. So we can't go back on this. One of the few things that King Carol and the Legionary movement agree upon is the importance of public works, albeit the two have a notable difference in that the Legionnaires favor smaller-scale works like roads and dikes as primary goals, while Carol favors more massive undertakings as his first priority. After some notable wrangling in the legislature involving heated debates between the cabinet and the monarch, be it on regular meetings or during presided sessions of parliament, the king has managed to obtain the approval for some massive investments in Bucharest, especially regarding the continuation of a new royal palace project in exchange for refurbishing rural roads, bridges, and dikes throughout Oltenia and Montelia. Not only will these investments provide valuable jobs to the economy, especially in times like these, but they also leave behind an immortalized legacy, be it through the memory of rural infrastructure repair or throughout the magnificence of the new royal palace. While the remaining barriers out of the way, construction will begin in earnest, starting with the clearing of the ruins of the old royal palace, also known as the Golescu Mansion, from their spot on Calia Victorieli, Bucharest shall be a city worthy of its ruler. Italian democracy survives. Interesting. Who needs Russia? Yeah. Well, we probably could have. That probably would have been useful to have them. But I think we'll refrain from doing any of this while we wait for this, because I don't want this to be canceled. Yeah, shit, it's a little bit of a rough spot we're in, but we'll figure it out, hopefully. Let's get some construction going. Between HoI and the Buddhists. They're forming the military council. The Socialists have assumed full control in Norway. Ooh. The Cameroon is the unofficial Privy Council of His Majesty and is filled with his supporters and advisors. On the other hand, the social circle around the king is quite wide and was only a matter of time before Iron Guard would successfully infiltrate it. The information they managed to acquire could cause a scandal involving a member of a Camarilla if a double agent isn't taken care of in time. Silence him. Well, here goes Norway. Everything for the fatherland. That's probably gonna push. Do they? Okay, so they went Sochdem, but they didn't go with the abdication. So it's probably not too bad. I don't know. Now switch Turkey just actually. Yeah. Whatever way you slice it, that's probably not very fun for me. Yeah. Yeah, that is not nice for them. I know in the rework, whenever that ends up dropping, Turkey's supposed to switch to Othdem instead of, was it Ultranet now? Done a Sweden foreign Kaiser. I did too. That was, fun fact, Sweden was the first series, I want to say, that I got thumbnails made for my YouTube career. There have been multiple attempts to conduct a comprehensive reform of land ownership in Romania after the Weltkrieg. Perhaps the most ambitious attempt to solve the unequal land ownership was the Legionary land reform of 1934, which came to a halt after the wealthy aristocrats asked the king to intervene on their behalf. This time, Prime Minister Kodrian is defined to go through with large-scale plans of breaking up the large estates and give the farmholds to the peasants, who actually farm them. These large estates form easily over half of all arable land in Romania. The aristocracy seems quite worried about Kodrianu's plans. There have already been multiple appeals to the king to stop, or at the very least, mild the plan reform program. So the king does wield power to ultimately block any laws Parliament passes. His opinions and influence cannot be ignored. It's hard to imagine that he would actually block the reform, but he would surely aim to give his own ideas incorporated into the great restructuring of Romanian economy in the 20th century. It's our duty to the peasants of this land. Well, let's recruit some monarchist conspirators. And from here, some goods. We can go ahead and do. What would be better? This is probably fine, honestly. Let's do the urban-rural community. It's no secret that Romania suffers from a heavy urban-rural divide. As the country becomes more and more interconnected, with fewer peasants and workers having never met one another, the divide is slowly healing. Further efforts should be spent on bringing people of different regions and backgrounds closer, as Romanians form one indivisible nation. See if the ruling party pre-Turkey... Yeah, okay, they're not so. That sounds about right. Turkey does some light trolling around here. So, the captain's brother-in-law and co-founder of the Legionary movement, Ion Mota, has been in Codrianu's side for a long time. In Legion's earliest days, he was often a bigger theorist of his beliefs than the captain himself, who always preferred to maintain a degree of flexibility in order to enhance his Legion's chances. Now, after the successful publication of For My Legionaries, Mota has released a book of his own titled Crani de Lem, Wooden Skulls, title taken from an article commemorating the death of a legionary, killed in the movement's early days and having its staff masked behind wooden language. Containing a collection of Mota's most important articles on the varying issues from the origins of a legion among national studentry, from the necessity of Greater Hungary's dismantlement, all the way to the mundane like miracles attributed to the Archangel Michael. Acting as a microcosm of legionary beliefs, especially of its old guard agraro-mysticist side, the book has become very popular amongst legionary circles, strengthening the reach of the so-called Old Guard. Intriguing.